Finally, let's learn how to notate the rhythm part at the bottom here of Songmaker. It will be much like notating the rhythm for the other notes that we did in the staff. The difference will be that, of course, this section does not have pitch. So we're going to use what we call a neutral clef, which looks like this. All right, let's go ahead and work on notating the bottom line. So first we'll need to extend the staff like this, and then draw our neutral clef. To draw the neutral clef, you simply start with the second to the bottom line and have two lines that extend up to the second to the top line. And then we needed to draw our time signatures. So this is 4/4 time. And then we need to draw the bar lines. We're going to start with the finale bar line, which is bold line with a thinner line in front of it. We don't need to extend it all the way up to the top two staves. Then we draw our other bar lines like this. All right. Now we're ready to notate the rhythm. No, actually, let's do the numbering of beats first. So we're going to number each of the beats and draw bar lines in the Songmaker sheet like this, so it's easier to keep track of where we are. One, two, three, four, like that. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom paper we have there for the staves. So we're going to number the beats as well so we can keep track of where we are. So there's beat 3, beat 4. And then we start 1, 2, 3, 4. And then number the rest of them as well. Just like this. Okay, now I believe we are ready to notate the rhythm. Okay, I'm going to start with simply labeling. Okay, since these don't have pitch, what I need to do is label what line or space I want to indicate what instrument. Okay, so since the bass drum is on the lower part, I'm going to use the the bottom line or bottom space to represent my bass drum. And then since the snare is kind of a higher sound, we're going to use the second to the top space as our snare like this. And I've labeled them. It's more important to label them and being consistent with throughout the piece, because with percussion instruments sometimes they have different lines for the same instrument for different pieces, but it needs to be consistent throughout an entire piece. Okay, and then I'm just notating them like I did the other music. Here's beat 4. Making sure my stems are going in the right direction. Okay, let's go to the third measure. It goes bass drum. So I'm using my bottom space for the bass drum. And again, it's just as long as if you're consistent throughout, the percussionist will know what to do. Okay, there's 2 notes in one beat here, so I'm going to use an eighth, a couple of eighth notes and beam them together like this. And then the last beat is beat 4 with a quarter note, and then this takes up an entire beat, so beat 1 will be a quarter note, Okay, two notes at the same time. Okay, whenever you have two notes at the same time, you're going to join them with one stem like we did earlier. Okay, another quarter note. Okay, and then two eighth notes, since there are two notes going horizontally here, so beam them together like this. And there you have the percussion part for this piece. We have just two more aspects of music to cover before our music is complete. I'm going to show you how to tell the musicians how loud or soft you want the music, and I'm going to teach you how to tell the musician how fast or slow you want the music to be. First, let's talk about how to indicate to the musician how loud or soft we want the music to be. Unfortunately, Songmaker doesn't have the option to make the music loud or soft, so this is something that you'll have to just imagine in your head. So we use Italian words to indicate how loud or soft to play the music. That way, people in other parts of the world that don't necessarily speak English can understand what our music is. So the music is a little bit more universal. So piano means soft. Piano is spelled P-I-A-N-O, and this is the sign that we use to indicate that the musician plays soft. Next we have forte. Forte is spelled F-O-R-T-E, and this is the sign that we use for forte. Forte is the opposite of piano, so forte means loud. Next we have mezzo piano. So the word mezzo simply means in between or medium. When we say mezzo piano, we already know piano means soft. Mezzo means medium, so it means medium soft or moderately soft. Mezzo is spelled M-E-Z-Z-O. The two Z's are pronounced like the two Z's in pizza, so it gets more of a TS sound, so mezzo. Next we have mezzo forte. Again, same concept. Mezzo means moderate or medium or in between. So forte, as we discussed, means loud, so it means medium loud. And again, the Z's are pronounced like the Z's in pizza. Then we have crescendo. Crescendo means to gradually get louder. And then we have what we call diminuendo, which means gradually get softer. Crescendo, we use this sign, and diminuendo, we use this sign. We call all of these markings dynamics. So forte is a dynamic marking, piano is a dynamic marking, and so on. To notate them in music, we simply mark where we want the music to be louder or softer. We definitely want to start the piece out with a dynamic. I want this to be loud, so I'm going to write forte. And I want these sections to be differentiated with different volumes. So I'm going to put forte for the first little section, and then mezzo forte for the second little section, and then mezzo forte for the third section. And I'm going to crescendo up to the end of the piece. And the bottom staff, since it's not as important as the melody, I'm going to start it out a little bit softer, so mezzo forte, and then go to piano, and then I want it to become a little bit more prominent here, so I'm going to mark it with mezzo forte, like that, because there's not really anything interesting happening in the top two staves in measure 3, so I'm going to mark that as mezzo forte. And that is it.